Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Palo Alto, where we come to transform ourselves and each other and the world. It is good to be together on this, our annual Water Communion Day. You can have your video on through the service if you like. We love to see each other's smiling faces, but we generally keep the audio off except for a couple moments, and this is one of those moments. So let's unmute ourselves right now so we can hear each other say hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Good morning.
Everyone.
Good to see faces and hear voices.
Happy October. Hi, Jeff.
Great to see you, Amy.
And we can wave.
Hi.
Great. You can see the order of service by following the link in the chat. There's lots going on, so please do have a look at the announcements before you sign off today. And I have a couple of other additional announcements. One is this thank you to some of the many caretakers of our congregation.
UUCPA, we're gonna let it shine. UUCPA, we're gonna let it shine. UUCPA, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Worshiping on Zoom. Worshiping on Zoom, we're gonna let it shine. Worshiping on Zoom, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. We transform ourselves, let yourself just shine. Transforming every day, let yourself just shine. Transform you and me. Let yourself just shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Run and close our doors. Now we're gonna let it shine. Run and close our doors. Now we're gonna let it shine. Run and close our doors. No, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. UUCPA, we're gonna let it shine. UUCPA, we're gonna let it shine. UUCPA, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Thank you once again. And we have an introduction to our justice partner from Karen Skold.
Good morning. I'm Karen Skold, and I'm here to introduce you to our Justice Partner of the Month, South Bay Sanctuary Covenant. We are a small local organization with strong ties to several rural communities in El Salvador. We help fund projects that promote just and sustainable development, community organizing, and their demands for justice. I have had the privilege of visiting these communities 14 times since I first became involved 16 years ago. We have been sponsoring a family of Salvadoran refugees for the past 6 years. With our help, they survived COVID infection and the resulting lack of employment, and are now doing well. We will continue to fund their legal expenses as their asylum case proceeds slowly through the system. The projects in El Salvador that we have managed to fund over the past 2 years continue to bear fruit. The community gardens are flourishing. We funded much-needed repairs to a school in a very poor community, and the parents are now more involved in their children's education. A training program for preschool teachers met with an enthusiastic response, and the teachers would like more such programs. We also help support Voices on the Border, the organization in El Salvador that makes all our work possible. COVID-19 has cost us the loss of our most important source of income. 3 of our in-person fundraisers have had to be canceled since the pandemic began. The support of UUCPA has been essential in keeping our work going during this challenging time. We are organizing a virtual program and fundraiser on November 20th to reconnect our supporters with each other and with our partners in El Salvador. I encourage you to attend. Look for more details later. Thanks in advance for your continued generosity.
Thank you. And now, let us begin our service. If you have a chalice there with you, please light it along with me and Jan Richardson's poem, Blessing That Bears the Wind, the Wave. That we will risk the drenching by which we are drawn toward the voice that calls us, the love that catches us, the faith that carries us beyond the wind, the wave. With our centering words each week, we draw on the many sources of our living tradition. Today's words are from the Swedish mystic, theologian, scientist, inventor, and philosopher Emanuel Swedenborg. Nothing unconnected ever occurs. As we follow the sound of the bell into silence, let us become centered and fully present in this place together. Please join in as Bruce leads us in singing For the Beauty of the Earth.
Our hymn of grateful praise.
We have our vessel here that will be our little ocean of waters, and the many small waters that people have given to pour into it are like little streams that have yet to arrive at their destination, but they will. And that reminds me of a story. The story from the Sufi Muslim tradition of the stream that was called to the sea. This story is told of a stream that was born, as streams often are, way up high in the mountains from a spring, an ice-cold spring near the top of a tall mountain. And as soon as the stream burst forth from the mountain, it had a dream. That dream was to go to the ocean. On the way to the ocean, it traveled over lots of different terrains. First, it was way up high in the mountains above the tree line, and there were just rocks to go over or around if it came to a big boulder and was still a very small stream. But then as it gathered up strength and volume, it would just leap over boulders and bring them on into the stream bed with it. And it traveled sometimes straight through a narrow ravine going very fast, and sometimes it would meander, especially when the land flattened out a little bit and the stream got wide, and it took its time meandering along. And it went through all sorts of territory. It went through the evergreen trees, and it went along steep valleys and then into quiet sort of glens with green, light green deciduous trees all around it, leaves falling into it. And all the time it was thinking, I'm on my way to the ocean. I'm on my way to the sea. As it took all these different shapes, narrow and wide, going fast, going slow, and over so many different kinds of terrain, until it came to a terrain that was really different. And the stream didn't keep going there. No matter how much it poured, it just ended there at the desert. The waters of the stream couldn't cross it to the sea that it knew was on the other side. They just sank into the hot, dry, thirsty, sandy earth there. And the stream did not know how it was going to get across this desert. No matter how much it poured, it just wasn't getting anywhere at all. And then it heard a voice, a quiet voice, the voice of the wind. The stream said, I cannot get across this desert. I don't know what to do. And the voice called, I can help you, but you will change a great deal. Well, I've changed a lot already, the stream said. I've been narrow and I've been wide, and I've been fast and I've been slow. I've changed a lot through many, many different terrains since I began way up at that mountaintop behind us. And the wind said, you have changed, but if you let me help you, you will be changed much more than that. You will lose yourself. You will no longer be a stream, because I will absorb you. The stream was quite scared about that. But will I cross the desert? Yes, you will cross the desert, but you will not be the same. Isn't there any other way? I know of no other way for you to cross this desert. You cannot remain what you are and get to the other side. So the stream was frightened, but it was brave, and it said, thank you for your help. I will trust you. Take me across. And it felt itself being absorbed by the wind. And it was no longer a stream. It was a cloud high up above the desert. And the stream turned cloud saw that there were other streams of water coming in and joining this cloud that crossed the desert. And it felt very different than it had ever felt before, just as the wind had warned. It looked around, and as it felt its particles spread far out, it could see them. Many different particles from itself, from other streams. They were far away, little droplets, and they were beautiful. They were glistening, glinting with the sun that was way up, even higher than the wind and the clouds, high, high above the desert. And the light that they cast was all different colors, all the colors of the rainbow. As the stream was pondering this amazing transformation, the wind had carried it all the way across the desert, and the air cooled, and the droplets merged, and the stream turned cloud, now came down on the cooler land, the greener land, as rain. And it was a stream again, a different stream than before. And it rushed onward to the ocean. The man whose words I shared a little while ago, Emanuel Swedenborg, as I said, he was a mystic. He had religious visions, saw the spiritual everywhere in visions that were hard to communicate to others. He was a deeply religious person, and he was also a scientist. And from both his experiences as a mystic and his explorations as a scientist, he spoke this truth that he perceived. Nothing unconnected ever occurs. Our water communion is a wonderful opportunity to reflect on how no person unconnected is ever born. I mean, we know this, of course, that we're born from another person's body. Even if we don't live with that person, even if we're not raised by that person, that's where we all began. And before that, we began with 2 cells, each a little capsule, mostly water, each from one from each of 2 people. And then after we start out as these little capsules of water, we float in mostly water as we form, and we're born in a rush of water, just as life formed in the waters of our planet billions of years ago. And so we are connected through water with our biological parents and their parents before them, all our ancestors. But it's much more than that. If Dan were here, we've given him the week off. So it falls to me to tell a little bit about how he's told us before. Maybe you've seen him with the long, long ribbon of numbers, telling us how many molecules of water, very approximately, are in our bodies. So if you take, for example, a fairly light person, just 70 pounds, a child, say, of 10 years old or so, the approximate number of molecules in the child's body, of water in the child's body, it is 602 septillion. So 602 million would be 602 and then 6 zeros. 602 septillion is 602 and 24 zeros. That many molecules of water in a small person's body at any given moment. And because we are part of the water cycle with our water, just like that stream, we take in water and we excrete water. That means the water in our body is not always the same. It's in exchange with all of the rest of the water cycle, with the flowing waters and the animals and plants that we eat and so on. We take it in our food and all that we drink. And then, of course, we sweat and we cry, we bleed, we pee. Our water keeps going out of our bodies and into the cycle, and we keep taking water in. And considering how much water we take in and put out every day of our lives, we have exchanged so many millions, billions, septillions of water, even in a short lifetime, even in a child's lifetime, that we are literally connected with people all over the world and people all through time. If you think about somebody you admire from the past, think about Marie Curie or William Shakespeare or Malcolm X, the chances are very, very high that at least one molecule that was in their body has passed through yours. Pretty cool. We are literally connected, not just to our biological relations, not just to the people right there in our home, but to people far, far away, and to beings all over the earth and all through time, before us and after us. Every river, every ocean, every forest, every jungle keeps cycling through these molecules of water, and they move around the earth, including through us. It's amazing. We speak of the interdependent web of all existence, and it's a metaphor, it's an image. But if you imagine a network of rivers instead of all the places that a raindrop goes, as it becomes a raindrop and lives as a raindrop and then falls into a body of water and ceases once again to be a raindrop, if you follow that incredible network of existence, we really are in an interdependent network with all things. This water that I'm about to share from UUCPA, it reminds us that that interconnection goes not only to everyone who is alive now, but to people who were a long time ago and people who will be a long time from now. We have water that we already gathered with a little bit of this water from UUCPA in our bowl here. The rest is from people who gathered at the early service, bringing it from all the places of their lives, as others have brought it to me to share in a little while. And it will become part of this UUCPA water that goes forward. We always save some. It's all mixed together, so some molecules from everyone who shares today will go back into my office to be shared again next year. And all through the year, we will use it to dedicate our children, to bless and welcome them. This water that connects them to all things, beginning right here at UUCPA with the past. This water I'm holding, UUCPA water, has passed forward from every year, a little bit of our water saved every year, so that in it is water that was shared by people who are in the service right now, people who have moved far away, people who have died. It's still here. It's sweet to think of their presence, still blessing us, the blessing of sweet rain and the sips of water we're going to have in a little while. Water when you're thirsty like the earth. So just like the stream, this is our past and our future. It blesses children who have yet to be among us. The water that we share today will be here when we are gone, still connecting us all. And later this week, and I'll share this all with you on our website later this week I will pour some of this water that we've gathered onto the tree in our memorial garden to give thanks to our ancestors. And remember that we all come back around in that connection. It's a meditation you could try later today or later this week. Maybe when you're gathered with people from work or school or out in public, just out in traffic, to just become aware of all the bodies around you. Bodies of water, because that's mostly what they are, just like we are. Each with their hundreds of septillions of molecules, and each, no doubt, sharing some of them over a lifetime with us. It's an interesting thing to think about, of the person in line ahead of you at the cafe, or the person in school who you don't like very much, or the person you have a crush on who doesn't know it. All of those people, they are not unconnected either. We are connected with all of them. spend some time meditating upon that and see if it changes you. See if it changes you as the stream was changed or some other way. All we kindred pilgrim souls will be singing in Blue Boat Home. That's all of us. Not only all the people, but all the beings. Not only everything that's alive right now, but everything that ever was or will be here on our Blue Boat Home. All connected. It is amazing. And I have a word for that connection, for that movement between us. I call it holy. And by it we are blessed. Will you please join in with me in singing Swimming to the Other Side? We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I am alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced at the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection in me my crime. In humility I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. On this journey through thoughts and feelings, minding intuition, my head, my heart, I am gathering the tools together. I'm preparing to do my part. All of those who have come before me, band together and be my guide. Loving lessons that I will follow. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all of the gifts we've been given to share have been with us since life's beginning, and we never noticed they were there. We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live together. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. And now is the time for our water communion, to share with those who have brought the water earlier today, our waters. And I'd like to invite you to participate in another couple ways as well. One, if you don't have some water by you, this is a good moment to go and get some, because since it's all the same water, there's going to be a moment for you to drink some and feel your connection with the water here. And also, if you have not yet shared a word or intention for this year that your water is going to symbolize for you, and you're comfortable sharing it publicly, you can put it in the chat as I name the intentions that others have already shared and as I add their water. I'll add a little water for those who didn't bring any but have an intention to share from right here. This is a little hetchy water from here at UUCPA, all connected by those sacred connections. So I begin with a little bit of UUCPA water. From our ancestors, our past, and our children, our future. That's an intention for depth. That person's word is depth. Fluidity and flexibility we have here. Have more fun. Gratitude. Optimism. Joy. This is perseverance. Somebody's guiding word for the year. Here from the chat, centering. Friendships, how precious they are, and the intention to nourish them. We have a poem that one person shared for their intention. Rain, rain, come again. The clouds must burst to slake earth's thirst. Amen. And we have an intention for compassion. Resilience. Insight. A little vial of hope. Openness to magic. Efficacy. Healing. Just as our waters are connected, our intentions are connected. Isn't it marvelous to think of the people around us living into healing and efficacy and insight and joy and perseverance and all the things we've heard? And how can we not be touched and affected by those intentions? Playfulness is here, and acceptance. Another few moments to let people add to the chat anything they wish to share. A word, a phrase to guide you through the year. Courage and patience, beauty of nature, community, intention. These connections that flow between us, that are felt in a very real and true way by the flow of water, and which this water always also symbolizes. The flow of these intentions, all of these make these waters blessed and make these waters a blessing to us. Joy, connection with the deceased beloved Ruth. Her water's in here too, you know. So let us take in this blessing. Take the water that you have there with you and know it is all the same water. So drink the blessing that is before us. May it help these intentions to guide you through the year. And by them, and by you, you too will be a blessing to everyone. El Salvador may seem very far away, but just as our waters of Adobe Creek run to the bay, then to the Pacific Ocean, which touches the shores of El Salvador as well, we are closely connected to that country. Those of us who were born there or have visited there, of course, and also those of us who know them, who live and work alongside the many immigrants, refugees, and descendants with roots in that part of our small planet. The South Bay Sanctuary Covenant, our justice partner for this month, helps us to strengthen these connections, to be aware of these connections that are already among us. And so, with gratitude, we support them with our offering. The order of service gives a QR code and link, and also information on how to use text to give via Give Lively. As Karen mentioned, it's hard for organizations like this to raise money in the other ways that they usually have now during COVID, so consider that as you give. Thank you for your gifts. Now, please join in as Bruce leads us in singing Blue Boat Home.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in a beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port had I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Dear ones, I am so glad to be kindred pilgrim souls with you. We continue our pilgrimages, our journeys through our lives as we leave this place, but we take it with us. We take one another with us. We take, however we have been changed by this time together, by this ritual we have shared, and by the connections among us and far beyond us to all beings of all times. So let us go forth knowing that we are blessed and blessing all whom we meet. Until we meet again. Please stay after the benediction for our virtual coffee time. You'll be invited to small group conversations in our breakout rooms, and I will be moving from room to room today. Likewise, if you want to visit with other people, we're always in this process of figuring out how do we relate to one another in Zoom in the ways we do if we're face to face. And so I'd like to encourage everyone to please feel free to leave one room after a while and join another, just as if we were on the UUCPA patio, we'd chat for a while in one cluster and then cross to another to touch base with someone else. That's fine. So enjoy your visiting. Now, will you please unmute yourself and turn on your video if you're comfortable with that, and touch hands virtually, putting your hands up to the edges of your screen, if you can do that, while we say our benediction together. Go out into the world in peace. Be of good courage. Hold fast to what is good. Return no one evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Rejoice in beauty. Speak love with word and deed. Honor all beings.